I was really into I mean, when I grew up, electronic music wasn't really a thing. It was very insanely niche. I got into it before, like, really the internet craze, or at least the social media craze, and,
Mm.
we used to go and shop at these, like, CD stores where there was just, like, aisles of CDs. I don't know if you ever got to experience that,
Mm-mm.
but
Too
there
too
you'd go to
young.
shopping plazas or malls, and they would have these, like, just the stores dedicated to music, and it was just, like, rows of CDs. But, pop, hip hop, and rock dominated everything at that time, and especially given in South Florida, each of these stores would be kind of arranged based on, like, what cities they were in, on the music.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
main aisles for where we were, like, hip hop and rock, and then there'd be, like, a small area for country, but, like, in the back of this store, there was, like, international sounds, and it was
Mhm.
cool because you could scan the barcode and just, like, listen to them on headphones and decide if you wanna buy it. So me and my friend, just to kill time on weekends or whenever we had off, we'd walk to these stores and spend hours there just listening to stuff because we didn't really have that much money to buy things. And after you dive into all the stuff you would end up in the back of the store. And I just remember seeing these like wild artworks for these like trance CDs. They always had crazy artworks back in like the late 90s. And I would just grab one and scan it. And that's how I got into it early. But since
Ah.
there wasn't a easy way outside of like crate digging and I wasn't a DJ, I didn't deep dive onto it until, like, years later. I would just grab random CDs with pretty artworks, listen to them at home, and that was it. I didn't know much about, the artists outside of a few handful.
Right.
And then, like, in the early 2000s, maybe around 2003, 2004, we were going to some clubs, but open format DJs would play, like, big house music records that made, like, the radio, so, like, Sonique and what was that other girl that was really big? There was, like, 2 or 3 that made the radio back then, that was it. And someone told me about Club Space in Miami, so when we heard about it, we were pumped because there was, like, no platform for this in Broward. I grew up, like, 45 minutes north of Miami, and, we drove down one weekend, Oscar G was playing. It was unbelievably, like, life-changing experience because I hadn't even heard his genre before. Like, all I had
Mhm.
heard was, like, trance things and stuff like that. So that really changed everything for me. I think I went every Saturday for, like, a year and a
Ah.
half straight. Just fell in love with the place. This is, like, MySpace era, and then, I don't know, I was like, "I gotta work here somehow." And then, I worked at a couple other small clubs, and then I ended up at Space. I did, like, 8 years there before I went off and did my own thing.
How
But
cool.